There, it is day 15, and I have a fun story today. Um, I think it must be because I put on my one of my favorite sweaters that was buried deep, and I kind of forgot about it, but I love the colors. First off, though, I went to pre-op, and I'm actually kind of excited to say that everything is set to go. I just show up on Monday and actually go even downstairs just straight to where the surgery is. I don't. There's no more, pre-registration or registration or anything like that that needs to be done. I've already got my hospital band. It's coming, and I realize um, it's a little strange how excited I am about this surgery, but I've just been in a lot of pain. I'll tell you, about a week or so ago, I actually bent over just to clean a toilet, and when I stood up, my legs were like jello. I mean, literally, like it's hard to describe unless you've seen me in that kind of moment. It's hard to even probably imagine what that's like, but my legs literally just kind of turned to jello, and it's like I have no control. And so it's like I'm moving forward on legs, the knees are giving way, and I'm used to it. I know that in time it kind of calms down and tends to go away, but it's still a little bit disconcerting when that happens. And my hope is, because that happened when I was in motion, I'm hoping that when they fuse this, that there's a chance that I might have more leg stability. So I am sure next Monday and Tuesday are not going to be any fun, but I'm really hopeful that as I heal, that there might be some extra healing that comes along with this surgery. Um, so after that, I had to teach a lesson, and then I went to stop by little man's house, my grandson's house, where my daughter-in-law's come back in town, and just wanted to give her a break if she needed one. And so I stuck around there, kind of helping in and out. He actually ended up with an ear infection. It's kind of sad. But he's doing better, and she's doing well. And so I left there at about, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there. And I did what a lot of people in Georgia do when they're very hungry and they don't really want to come home and cook. I found the closest Chick-fil-A, and I stopped by this Chick-fil-A. Well, when I drove up, I noticed the Joy FM trucks out front. So if you aren't from my area, Joy FM 93.3 is a Christian radio station in this area. And I have a friend who's actually a DJ on the radio station. Her name is Paige Long on the radio. Go look her up. You can find it, Paige Long, 93.3. So they're doing this turkey drive right now where you can stop by these Chick-fil-A's and you give $10 or a frozen turkey, and they'll give you a t-shirt. Look, I have my new t-shirt, helping you find joy. And anyway, you sign up for something else. Anyway, they're doing these all over Atlanta right now. So what was kind of fun was I saw the truck and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I wonder if Paige is here. I wonder if my friend is here. And so I circled around, and I didn't think I saw her. And so then I thought, well, I'm going to get in line because I really didn't want to go into the store. It's like kind of cool and rainy here. And besides, walking is not easy for me. So I thought, well, I'm just going to get my little kids meal. And then I'll look her up while I'm in line. And so I did. In fact, I thought, well, I'll call her. If Paige is here, she might not answer, but if she's not, maybe she will. So she answers her phone, which she never, ever does. Do you ever have one of those friends who insists on the fact that don't call me, just text me? Well, Paige can be one of those. But Paige is that way because she suffers from mitochondrial disease like me. She has a hard time. In some ways, I think her situation's worse. In some ways, she thinks mine is worse. So we do this thing back and forth. But Paige and I met at a crucial time in our lives. I was kind of coming out of the hardest time. But Paige she was a little bit behind me in the diagnosis process. But we were both pretty strong individuals who kind of kept our heads in hard situations. She was actually working for a very well-known ministry, was actually very prominent in their recording and videoing, and I don't know, a lot more than, I'm probably saying it wrong, but she had a great job, and she was just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And anyway, she was diagnosed with mitochondrial disease, and she has trigeminal neuralgia, probably from a Chiari malformation, which is even weirder to say. Chiari malformation has to do with how the brain is just sitting too far down in your brainstem. So let's just say my friend Paige has a lot of funky things going on with her too. And I know she has just lived with awful, awful pain in her face and just gone through an awful lot trying to get healed and whole. And if you listen to 93.3, you probably know that. But Paige was not at the Chick-fil-A I was at tonight, but she answered the phone and we talked, and it was just the sweetest time of connection. With Paige is one of those. I don't know how long it's been since I've talked to her. It's been quite a while. But we just have this just kind of dark humor about our situations. There's just a camaraderie in the struggle of faith with sorrow and faith with loss, and even just like wanting to be people who go to church and do the things you're supposed to do at church, and yet we can't. And so then you have to battle that feeling like somehow you're less than, or that other people think you should be doing more because we don't necessarily look sick. And most of the time when I'm in church, I walk in, I walk out, people don't see me like I was the other night after I cleaned my toilet and my legs were jello. In fact, I was in a Bible study one time with somebody for like 3 years, and I remember at the end of it, I had a really bad night, and I walked in and this person goes, what is wrong with you? And I remember thinking, like, this is like what's been going on the whole time. Like, I've been talking about this. I've told you I have problems, and this is not to give this person a hard time at all. But the reality is a lot of people have a hard time really grasping what we go through in the chronically ill community. So when I have my friend Paige on the radio page, 93.3, it's kind of cool to just connect in that place. There's just always an immediate connection where I know she's still on the radio talking about joy, and I'm writing trying to talk about joy, and it's just we're still in it together. Maybe that's what makes the bond so connected. But what was really fun is that she, after I called her, I ended up mentioning these videos, and so at 7:45 tonight, if you'd been listening to 93.3, you would have heard her do this big old plug for me, because I did end up leaving my car, and I walked in and gave my $10. And I said, I'm doing this for Paige. I'm getting out with my walker in a rainy night to give $10 to honor Paige because she's just been such a good friend. And so, yes, I still have the t-shirt. Yes, helping you find joy. And then she went and talked about these videos online or on the radio. And it's kind of surreal anytime I hear my name come across the airwaves. And it was just a fun moment for me tonight, a fun moment of, okay, God, I can't believe these things have ended up on the radio, but if that's where you want this for the moment, not that means they'll be the biggest and the best, but it's just another little way he's touching it and saying, Susan, keep going. So I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. And you know what? Maybe if you're out and about this weekend, if you're in the Atlanta area, look for a place to give those $10 for those turkeys. Stop in, get your free t-shirt, say you're doing it in honor of Paige. It'll be awesome. And, also if you are in this place of whatever your disability is, oh my gosh, find people in this with you, because it's so important to connect with those lives. And I am so grateful for the mitochondrial disease community, for people in this area, in this city, who really fight to know, just to stand together in it. Do they all believe what I believe about Jesus? Probably not. But they can all pronounce the name of things that I pronounce and live with. And there's a lot of healing in that. You don't want to surround yourselves only with your chronically ill people. You want to have, it's not about hunkering down. But don't be afraid to connect with those friends and recognize that it is a unique bond and an important bond and a fellowship that, when done correctly, is meant to give you the strength to keep going forward. When I talk to Paige, she gives me the strength to keep going. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, and will probably even give $10 to Turkey Day next year. All right, y'all have a great evening. Bye.